So I've been a bit stuck in terms of like learning film studies and doing stuff like that. So I've invested in film studies for dummies. Hey, we are on to our week 2 overview. So Monday I watched Citizen Kane, one of the greatest films of all time. A lot of people will definitely believe that. And Tuesday I watched The Godfather. Now this is one of the greatest films of all time, as anyone would say. It's, I think, second on the IMDb list of top 250 movies. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a long watch, but I was engaged the whole time. On the Wednesday, on the 29th of April, I watched Lady Bird. It's a Greta Gerwig film. I absolutely loved this film. I think it is one of my favourites. I think I gave every single film I've watched last week a 5-star. They were all like a good selection of films, and obviously, as you cannot tell, I'm very bad at rating stuff, so this is still a problem I am facing. And then on the last day of April, I watched When Harry Met Sally. This isn't like one of the best films of all time, but it is one of the most well-known films and popular and like pop culture films. From leading on from that, I watched Casablanca. I finally understood kind of what they were referencing in When Harry Met Sally, so that was great. Then I finished off the week by watching Psycho. This is obviously one of the best like horror movies of all time. That was a great watch. I really enjoyed it. I was gripped. I've also been predominantly like watching films from DVDs, which has been a great experience because I absolutely love DVDs. I also invested in the Alfred Hitchcock collection, and this is how I watched, oh, it's upside down, the Alfred Hitchcock collection. This is how I watched Psycho. Look at this! How beautiful is this? But this is the Psycho DVD. It was a really enjoyable watch. It was tense. I also found a lot of similarity between that and kind of the X trilogy. I realised kind of where the inspiration came from, and I watched that before I started this challenge not too long ago, and I just saw like the references and the kind of inspiration. Obviously in Maxine, the latest of the films, they literally feature the actual like Psycho house and they go to the set, which is an obvious nod to the Psycho film. But what am I going to do for week 2? For week 2, I'm going to try and get through some more iconic films, like big ones. The Shawshank Redemption, I'm going to try and watch that. I'm going to try and watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. So I spent like a bit of time off camera, which I didn't like record it, but I spent a bit of time studying film analysis specifically because that is something I think will really help me, and I think it ties everything together, like film history and theory and grammar all together. I watched like a whole like an hour and a half video essay about film analysis, which was really, really insightful. Visual language, realism versus formalism, and subjective versus objective. I learned about all these kind of different shots, all these different lenses. I learned about the use of colour, the use of aspect ratio, lighting. There was a lot going on, blocking and camera movement. So I've been really trying to apply this and see like what it actually does for what we're watching. And what you definitely learn from film analysis is that you have to describe what you see and ask yourself why. And there's never like one specific answer, but you can ask yourself why the filmmaker did this, why they made this choice, and what like meaning it creates. And that's basically the whole point. So it's not this like really elaborate thing, but it's about having some knowledge about film and applying it to what you're watching and seeing what you think about it. There's 5 key elements that are normally analysed. So that is cinematography, editing, mise-en-scène, performance and sound. But that has been a week 2 overview. I can't wait for week 3.